right, guys, we're going to be talking about the Game of Thrones spinoff here in this video. It came out on Sunday, and a little bit of backstory here. When Game of Thrones Season 8 came out, I watched the whole season. It was hot garbage. That final season of Game of Thrones was absolutely terrible. Now, folks, I have to admit I was a late bloomer to Game of Thrones. I didn't catch on to the craze at first. I didn't have HBO. And then around, I believe, 2017, I started watching all of the seasons. I was like, man, this is really, really good. Really, really good. And then they announced the final season of Game of Thrones, and it was garbage. Garbage. Now, Benioff and Weiss, they didn't have any source material for, I believe, like the last couple of seasons or so. And George R.R. Martin, he came out and said that he wasn't even really involved in the final 4 seasons. So when House of Dragon comes out, when it's actually announced, I'm like, okay, I don't know how good it's going to be. Because that final season of Game of Thrones was just that terrible. But I believe it's actually been 3 years now since season 8 of Game of Thrones. Maybe people have forgotten about it. If you go to Rotten Tomatoes, man, that score is horrific for the final season. But me and my wife tuned in on Monday because we actually have HBO Max. We don't actually have HBO. We get HBO Max for free, so we tune into stuff like Westworld. We usually watch it on Monday. So yesterday we watched it, and I said, man, this first episode is pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm really kind of surprised considering how the Game of Thrones season 8 actually ended. It was good. I enjoyed myself in that first episode, so I'm looking forward to the next episode. But guys, as bad as season 8 of Game of Thrones was, a record number of people actually tuned in to House of Dragon. Over here on Yahoo, House of Dragon nabs 9.99 million viewers. Best HBO series premiere ever. Wow, that's a whole lot of people there, folks. A whole bunch of people. And this is coming off of the backlash that was Game of Thrones Season 8. Maybe time starts to heal a few things, but I did enjoy it. The beginning of it, a little bit dry, but overall it was a solid first episode. It says here, HBO's House of Dragon is already flying high. According to Warner Brothers Discovery, 9.99 million viewers tuned in for the series premiere across HBO and HBO Max. This marked the largest audience for a series premiere in the pay TV channel's history, including content that debuted before the streaming era, HBO said. House of Dragon is the prequel to HBO's blockbuster series Game of Thrones. The viewership data comes after more than 3,700 outages were reported across HBO Max platform on Sunday night. I didn't even know that. There was a whole bunch of people that actually want to see this thing. But the reviews for it look pretty good. I believe on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics and the audience, they roughly have like the same take, roughly like 88%. But then I get up this morning and I look and I see this. Why did they actually have to bring this into the show? Why? Over here on Bound in the Comments, House of Dragon showrunner and actor claimed childbirth scene is about Roe versus Wade. It feels more timely and impactful than ever. Now, spoiler alert for folks. The king's wife is pregnant here. And she actually dies in childbirth. And it's because the baby hasn't completely turned around. So there has to be a choice of saving the baby or losing them both. And the king actually decides, save the baby because he had a feeling that it was actually a boy. And we found out that only male heirs can actually inherit the Iron Throne. During a difficult birth, it sometimes becomes necessary for the father to make an impossible choice, to sacrifice one or to lose both of them. And spoiler alert, folks, both of them actually end up dying. Now, guys, I don't know for sure if this was in response to Roe versus Wade, because Roe versus Wade just got struck down. We found out months ago. Then it actually came down like a month or two ago. They started actually filming Game of Thrones, not Game of Thrones, but House of Dragon, like over a year ago. Nobody was really even talking about Roe versus Wade. Now, I don't even believe that like there's any Americans in this show, actually, to tell you the truth. But I do find it, man, interesting that they actually debuted a good episode and then they come out and they do something like this. A virtue signal to destroy the good things that they actually did. Like I said, I hated the final season of Game of Thrones. It was trash. And they bring this out, and the first episode is good. Matt Smith, I believe he is the standout in the first episode. We'll actually have to see what happens on going forward. But Game of Thrones, as far as, the whole world with HBO, the first episode seemed to get back to the roots. It was about the Iron Throne. And I like that. And I do believe that this probably can actually be a good season. But I believe they actually brought up this whole Roe versus Wade thing after the fact. You guys got to remember, this is actually based off the books. The books. I don't know exactly when this book was actually written, but it was written way before Roe versus Wade. But I think this is ridiculous that showrunners have come out and said this. It's completely insane. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Matrixx and Rhodes show fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.